All right, Bonita, back over to you.
Okay, guys, did you were you able to get that information down? Catherine says no, she was not. Was there a problem with it, or you just?
Hang on. I couldn't get onto the site. It just says I can't, the site cannot be reached.
Was that the Google one or the YouTube one?
Well, I just went to www. Whatever.
Okay, well, I'm not sure exactly what the one that I have that I found is just called the gold. You know, I think maybe if you just Google EFT and Gary Craig, his name, that may bring you to some sites. But look for the download, the 3-book called The Unseen Therapy, and that is in his site. There are hundreds of practitioners of this now. It didn't used to be that way back 20 years ago, 25 years ago, but now people are making money doing this, and you can actually learn it and do it on yourself for free. Back when it first came about, my sister had purchased, he was doing like tapes. I don't know if there was DVDs back then, I don't remember, but anyway, he was doing tapes, and my sister bought a series of the tapes, and they were, you know, tapes teaching you how to do the technique, and as well as dozens of recordings of how that had been used. And I swear to God, I watched a video one time on a talk show where he was doing this and cured a woman's fear of pickles. I mean, how, I don't understand how you are afraid of pickles, but she was. But anyway, you know, at the time when my sister had purchased these tapes, there was a note in the box that said, please record these up to 100 times and share them with your family and friends.
Wow.
So obviously he wasn't all about making money. He was trying to get the word out that this actually works. So
yeah, Bonita, I just looked up ETF, Gary Craig, and got 4 videos that he's doing, including an intro. You know, all the other links you can link onto that. So
good, awesome, yeah. So anyway,
I think it's a fabulous training, Bonita. And, you know,
thanks.
I had somebody on another network marketing company want me to post her product on my Facebook page. And I said, well, how many Facebook page, you know, and she wanted to reciprocate. And I said, well, how many friends do you have? And she said 350. And I said, well, I've got 5,000 and I'm very active on Facebook. How active are you? Well, not very active. And I'm thinking that doesn't sound like a very fair trade to me, and I might confuse my audience. But anyway, but the lesson through this was all done on text. So no body language and no tone of voice. Okay. Well, you know, finally she's going back and forth and telling me why her company's so good and la, 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 how much money she's making and whatever. And I'm like, is she trying to recruit me? You know? So finally I said, listen, I'm very happy with the company that I'm with, you know, whatever. And I said, I have to go get some stuff done, you know? And so anyway, she sent me a text saying, are you okay? And I didn't answer, like, this must be for somebody else. So anyway, the next day I got back to her and she said, well, you were so mad the other day, I never thought I'd hear from you again. And I said, mad? Anyway, so the whole point of this is that it has been bothering me for 2 days. So I need to do some emotional freedom technique to get rid of this confusion that caused in my brain. And I know that I can put this thought way out there and I can separate myself from that relationship. And it was a ridiculous circumstance, you know, but I'm sure if I practiced emotional freedom technique, and if I picked up the phone and just talked to the woman rather than texting back and forth, we probably have a lot more clarity in our relationship, you know? Just all right. Communication can get really, really crazy, you know, when we're not doing it.
It can happen really quickly too. Anybody have any questions? Great. All right.
No, but I thought it was really great. And what if you put the ASEA gel on the tapping points?
Oh, I think that would be an absolutely wonderful improvement.
Right?
You bet.
Yeah.
Exactly. Great tip, Kevin.
Bonita,
Thanks, loved it.
Yes.
At the beginning, you said you weren't sure how it works, but it's actually quite similar to the way ASEA works in that it's stimulating energy movements. energy
That's awesome.
exchange, and the movement of electrons.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Mark, for that explanation.
Yeah,
Great
fantastic.
training,
I don't know if
great
there's
training.
anything-
Thank you.
if there's anything to it, but we used to work with a guy, Peg, you remember who he is, but you know, when you're talking and you feel like you're going to cry and you don't want to cry. And he said, there's this place in your throat that you can touch. And it's supposed to stop you from crying. I don't know if that has anything to do with emotional freedom technique
Wow.
or we just made it up or if it's true or whatever, but you know, could be
Yeah.
a nice tool if you're thinking, oh, I think I'm losing it right here. You know?
Well, I'll tell you, there's when you start doing the recipe and you start connecting with the certain parts of the meridians of your body, Gary Craig always says that you'll find one spot that is particularly effective for you. And for him and for myself, it's our collarbone right here. And so oftentimes you'll see videos of Gary Craig and something will be going on. Like there was a video of him walking his daughter down the aisle at her wedding, and he was tapping at the same time because he was nervous, you know? And so for myself, that really, I mean, in just a couple of seconds, I can bring myself down. If I'm feeling anxious about something, you know, if you ever see me just tapping my collarbone, you'll know, uh-oh, she's stressed out about something. So.
Hey, great tips.
I have an EFT technique that I've used that's very, very simple that we can all learn like in 30 seconds. And so like, for instance, what you just went through, Cindy, you know, even though, so you tap with the 2 fingers on the right hand against the fatty flesh on the left or vice versa. And you just start tapping and you say, even though this person seems to be really upset with me, I still love and appreciate myself. Even though I seem to be upset about my husband not liking dinner, I still love and appreciate myself. Even though, so you just pick one thing, whatever random thing it is, even though this person just said no to my offer to send a video, I still love and appreciate myself. So whenever a feeling comes up, you acknowledge it, and then you tap that you still love and appreciate yourself. And it's very simple, very quick, and everybody can play with it and see if it helps. I found it helps me.
Fantastic. Love these little tricks. You know, I was riding in an airplane one time with a lady who was you know, she had all these degrees and whatever, and her husband had, I can't remember if he had dyslexia, ADHD, something that, you know, where his brain wasn't wired the way a lot of people's brains are wired. Anyway, she said, do you know that if you put an 8 on its side and you follow the 8, the figure 8 with your eyes, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, that it actually balances the brain. And she said they found this out in the 1920s. And the reason that it never got anywhere was because there was no money to be made, because people can do it for free.
Sure.
And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, well, how criminal, because if you could help somebody balance their brain. And I thought about it, you know, my sister grew up with horrible learning disabilities. And my mom is such a good parent that instead of going, listen, young lady, you're not going to go skiing until you get your grades up, she said, you know what, Beth, you're not very good at school, but you're very good at skiing. I think you should ski more. And so she became the #1 finisher in the Calgary Olympics, you know? So anyway,
Awesome.
but what is interesting is when you ski race, what do?
Yeah.
You know, it's like that figure 8.
Weaving back and forth,
Back and
right?
forth, back and forth, balances the brain. So anyway, I love these little
But
tricks.
Cindy,
that
it's
we do for free.
important when you're doing the figure of 8s that you don't move your head. That is just the eye movement that goes. And the center where the 8 crosses is the cortex that crosses between the left and right. But it's strictly an eye movement, not a head movement.
Right.
It's always going up on the 8 and up on the other side of the 8.
So you've heard of this, Sandra?
Sure.
Do you have a background in it?
Practicing for 30 years as a naturopath. I know EFT also.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we've got to tap into your intelligence. You lead a power half hour. Thanks so much,
Right.
Sandra. Fantastic. Hey, Sandra, honestly, if you could text me your contact information, I don't even have it, but text me your contact information if you would. You can do it in the chat. And
I don't text. It gives me an email address. I'll send it to the email address.
okay. Fantastic. I have to find you on here. I'm going to put you on the chat. I'm going to send you my email address on the chat.
Okay.
See how much we can learn from each other, you guys?
Yep.
There's so much wisdom in this group. And, you know, the whole idea of this power half hour, so we can tap into each other's wisdom, because I mean, we can unlock so much, and, you know, together we're much stronger than each of us by our individual selves, right? So fantastic. Well, listen, tomorrow our trainer, let me just give you a heads up, I believe is Peg Coates. Let me just confirm that real quick. Tomorrow, the 21st, is Peg Coates. Yes, so don't miss the Power Half Hour tomorrow. Make sure everybody registers for the ASEA United Mastermind.com and has as many people on their team as possible register. And if you have built a gold ASEA business or above, you qualify for a special leadership mastermind, which is going to happen after the Super Saturday event. So make sure that you help your team register 20 people, and then we'll send you the link to this special leadership mastermind. So anyway, have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much. Great training, Bonita. Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Great training,
Bye-bye.
Bonnie. Great training. See you guys
Thank you.
tomorrow. Bye.
Fabulous.